of being effective and successful individuals is really true, okay, the many years of experience as well as training that you get. Okay, I cannot promise you that graduating from this subject with a distinction will allow you to be a people manager, or good people manager rather. It's difficult. Okay, so even like your own tutors, okay, even myself, okay, many years of experience in the industry, okay, we still get our hard knocks as well, okay, in managing different people. Okay, so it is really a lifelong experience that we're talking here. Alright, so for this you just need to read through, will do. Okay, so what is management without understanding the definition, right? Okay, so for management, okay, it's really about helping you to attain, okay, organizational goals, like your profits, like your market share. Okay, it has to be done through an effective and efficient manner using the POLC concept. Okay, and we also introduce to you that it is important that you need to master or take good care of your organizational resources. Can you all tell me what are some organizational resources? Maybe from here. A student. Inventory. Okay, so we can also call it the physical resources. It refers to the inventory or even equipment that the organization has. Okay, how about this center block? Any other resources? Okay, manpower. Okay, we use a nicer term, human resources. Okay, how about the next block? Don't use money, use something more sophisticated. Financial resources. Okay, you guys are management trained people. Don't use, layman terms as compared to 6 months ago where you guys were just very new to studies. Okay? Alright, so please make sure you understand, okay, what the definition of management is. Okay, confirm, guarantee, chop, there will be a question on POLC. So please make sure you know the definitions of all the POLC functions. Okay, I will not answer that kind of question. Okay? So next up, okay, we speak a little bit more about the management types. So generally, in an organization, there are 3 broad levels: the top, the middle, as well as the first line. My question is, why is the first line managers more concerned with technical skills? Why do you think the first line managers are more concerned with technical skills? Because they deal with people more. Then isn't human skills more important?
They create the capital of the company.
Because they
create the capital.
Okay, they are the person that generates the revenue, is it, for the organization? So they need technical skills. Okay, in a way, because for example, if you are an accounting firm, okay, who will be the one doing the technical work? The accountants, the auditors themselves. So if they have been trained to be an accountant, of course, day in, day out, they should be managing this part as a first line manager. Okay, so as you move up the career ladder or corporate ladder, you generally would have more experience and you will practice more of conceptual skills, meaning to see the organization as a whole rather than the individual parts. Okay? So that's all you need to know for chapter 1. Okay, so moving on to the environment. Okay, there are basically 2 key things: the general environment as well as the task environment. Okay? So for the general environment, okay, there are 6 different dimensions. Do you all still remember what are those? There is a simple acronym, right, for you to remember. Listen, or you can use PESTIN, up to you. Okay? So make sure that you understand that it affects the organization indirectly, okay, because those are the dimensions that is beyond the control of the organization. Okay, and likewise, under task environment, we spoke about customers, competitors, suppliers, and labor market. Okay, so those are the things that you closely relate to, okay, in your day-to-day operations. That is why they have a direct impact on the business. Alright? Okay, corporate culture is indeed something that is very interesting and challenging. Okay, I can't help but to emphasize that corporate culture is key to organizational success. Okay, so what do you think are some of the visible corporate culture that we can have? Okay, slogans, heroes, stories. So all these things seeks to send a message about what the organization is all about. Okay, it tells people, it conveys to people, you know, the possible culture characteristics of the organization. So it is something that is up and coming, and it is very important. Alright, so let's move on to the next part of fundamentals of planning. Okay, the fundamentals of planning is basically the first management function that you guys started your journey on. Okay, so we spoke about the benefits of planning, the basic planning process, as well as the different levels of goals and planning involved. So there are some benefits of planning because you would like to be more future-oriented. You plan for future, you don't plan for the past. Okay, so those are some of the possible reasons that you need to be familiarized with. Okay, and how you actually achieve your goal would be through the 6 steps basic planning process. Okay, that will help you. Okay, and last but not least, different levels will practice different things. If I'm a senior manager, okay, sorry, if I'm in a senior management team, the top management, okay, definitely I'll be looking forward to doing strategic planning. 5 years, 10 years down the road, okay, because that is my concern for the organization. Versus somebody who is an operational manager, he or she will be taking care of operational goals, okay, meaning whether the sales revenue is coming in for your team or for your department itself. Okay, so those are generally at the operational level. Okay, so for this part, just read through will do. Okay, so single-use plans and standing plans. Can anyone tell me what is the difference between single-use and standing plans? One is one time, okay, the other one is recurring. Okay, can you all give me some example of standing plans? Policies, rules. Okay, so those are the things that guides, okay, recurring or frequently asked questions, like a return policy or exchange policy. Okay, so that's all you need to know for fundamentals of planning. Okay, strategic and tactical planning. I think we spend a lot of time talking about this at length. Okay, not just in lecture, tutorial, as well as your mid-semester test, right? Okay, so you all think this is important? Okay, I think it would be good to just read through will do. Alright? Alright, so let's move on. Okay, so fundamentals of organizing. I think many of you were slaughtered during the mid-semester test because of this question. Okay? So please make sure you go home and read through once again, okay, the different organizing concepts. So generally, just a quick revision, how many departmentalization approaches are there altogether? 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? 5. Okay, so what are the 5? Functional approach, divisional by geographical, by customers, by product or services. The next one? Matrix. Okay, matrix. What is something unique about matrix approach? It's a very good combination of functional and divisional approach, and it seeks to have dual chain of reporting. And this is actually going against the unity of command which we have mentioned under organizing concepts. Okay? So what is the third one? Fourth one, sorry. Team approach. What is the unique characteristics of team approach? Very good. Cross-functional. Okay, it has people from different teams of people, rather, okay, comprising different skill set and functional area. So they are able to respond to your customers more promptly and more readily. Okay, and last but not least, network approach, which capitalize on outsourcing. Wow, Miss Mabel knows us very good, huh? Awesome. I'll tell her that for sure tomorrow, first thing in the morning, okay? Alright, so those are the 5 different types of departmentalization approaches. So just read through, okay? Don't forget what they stand for. Okay, decision making. Okay, decision making is really at the heart of management. Okay, so broadly speaking, decision making can be classified into two broad areas. Okay, which are program and non-program. Thank you. Okay, so can you tell me the keywords for program decision?
Routine.
It's very routine, it's relatively simple. Okay, how about non-program?
Not structured, unstructured.
It's unique, it's poorly defined, largely unstructured, and it carries important impact on the organization. So 4 things under non-program. So please make sure you know the key characteristics. That will help you to explain the concept. Are you all clear? Okay. So basically there are 4 different conditions under which decision making can be made. So I highly urge all of you to take a look at a little table in your lecture notes that says certain risk, uncertainty, as well as ambiguity, okay, as part of the revision. Alright? So just read through this portion. Okay, how do we actually make decision? How do we actually make decision? We make decision based on a requirement, right? So what tells you that you need to make a decision? Maybe your sales figure is really falling for the past 3 quarters and it's sending you an alarm because you need to make sure you bring in profits, otherwise your shop can close down. So that would actually tell you to examine the reason why you need to make that decision. Okay, so the first thing is definitely taking a look at the sales figure. Is it because people are no longer interested in your product and so on and so forth? Then after that, you develop your alternatives, weighing the pros and cons, advantages and disadvantages. Okay, and then you choose it, you choose that alternative, and then you implement it. Okay, and last but not least, we often forgot about doing the evaluation and feedback. Okay, so those are just the very simple steps of how we can practice decision making. Okay, so just read through and familiarize yourself with this. Okay, leading and influencing is the only one chapter for your management function. Okay, so is it important? Okay, I really can't help but to say this is the topic that excites me most. Okay, it's so wonderful because you can have the most impressive goals in life, but if you don't have a good bunch of people to support you, you will never be able to achieve those things. Okay, so I can't help but to emphasize the importance of this topic. Okay, so we often say that, wow, there are so many leadership kind of styles. So we introduce to you just 2 simple ones, transformational and servant leadership. Okay, so can anyone tell me what is the main difference? Okay, one is for people, definitely servant is for people, but it doesn't mean that they are not concerned with the organizational output. They are still, but it's just that they value people above, okay, the organizational outcome. Whereas for transformational, they are focused a lot on radical change and making sure that the organizational output is different and it's good for the organization. Alright, so, okay, when we study servant leadership, we introduce to you the 10 different characteristics of servant leadership. Wow, I think it's such a wonderful thing that we are sharing with you such good things because it tells you to be a better people manager. Okay? So I think it's important for me as a people manager to really understand all the 10 characteristics, and perhaps I may need to give some examples so that I can explain better. Okay? So I think servant leadership is something that is very close to all of our hearts, isn't it? Okay? Alright, so moving on. Okay, we also learn the importance of having essential skills. Okay? As a manager, we need to learn how to manage diversity. We need to learn how to manage power, isn't it? So how many powers are there all together? Yes, it's all in your hands. 5. Okay? So what are the 5? Starting from? Okay, the easiest is legitimate power, so which is based on your position's power. Okay, so please spell the word properly. Okay, don't say it as legislation power. Okay, don't laugh, people write that as well. Here is legitimate power about the position. If you are a CEO, if you are a director. Okay, what is the next one? Referent power. So what is referent power? Respect. Okay, people look up to you because you have that sense of admiration over them. Okay, so for the admiration, people actually believe in you. Maybe you are a very charismatic speaker, you are very pretty, you're very handsome. So based on that characteristics, people, you can win people over. Okay, what is the next one? Reward, okay, your ability to pay bonuses or salary increment for your staff. What's next? Coercive. So please remember to spell it correctly. Please don't write it as corrosive power. Okay, I don't want to see anyone spelling that wrongly. Okay, if ever such a question comes out. Okay, so please write coercive is the ability to threaten, to punish, okay, or to fire people. Alright, and what is the last one? Expert power. So it says about who you are, okay, your credentials, your credibility based on your experience. Okay, did I miss anyone out?
Reward.
Okay, we said that already. Okay, alright, so please make sure you are familiar with all these essential skills, okay, because it helps you to be a better people manager. Okay, so is organizational communication important? We learned about this during the off-campus learning week, right? So is it important? Yes. No, my class says yes. Okay, they say no. Okay, I tend to do things like different from the rest of the people. Okay, when people say not important, I'll do things that are important. Okay, because of the training that I received in my university, they teach us to be different from the rest. We are a different university. So guess where am I from? Where was I from? Okay? So anyway, it's important because communication is key to the heart of management. Because if you don't communicate effectively, message will be truncated, message will be lost. Okay? And what happens is that people will not be aligned to one another. Just like when I'm speaking to you now, we are talking a little bit about the communication process, isn't it? I'm the sender.